Hare Krishna, welcome again. It's my daily practice to read a chapter from Bhagavad-gita. This is a lovely translation by Vijayacharya. So today I read from chapter 12 and I was encouraged very much by this beautiful chapter of Bhagavad-gita spoken by Lord Krishna to his friend and devotee Arjuna. So I thought I'd read that chapter today. It's called Divine Communion Through Pure Love. Arjuna then inquired, there are those who say that you are beyond the range of sense perception and that your ultimate nature is unmanifest and formless. They attempt through contemplation to understand the supreme truth as such. There are others who perpetually serve you with loving devotion, simply attempting to please you personally. Kindly tell me which of the two paths will lead to more perfect communion with you. Arjuna's divine teacher replied, I consider those who always render loving service to me, with hearts filled with deep faith and trust, to be by far the best. Nonetheless, those with a less definitive idea of my real nature, who contemplate the absolute truth as being featureless, invincible, all-permeating, inconceivable, immobile, and without inner dynamism, may come to me in the end if they learn to achieve control over their sensual demands, gain freedom from all intellectual prejudice, and become devoted to the ideal of rendering service to all living beings. However, to advance towards the goal of life is neither easy nor pleasant for those whose consciousness is fixed upon my undifferentiated feature. Those who offer everything which comes from their work to me, who are exclusively devoted to me in love, and who make me the object of their contemplation, find that I very quickly arranged for their rescue from the fearsome waters of the ocean of perpetual birth and death. Therefore simply absorb your consciousness in remembrance of me, apply your intelligence in my service, and without doubt you will live with me forever. If you find yourself unable to absorb your consciousness spontaneously and continually in me, then you should carry out the practice of those devotional principles which will help you to increase your aspiration to reach me. If you are unable to follow all of the principles of devotional practice, then simply try your best to serve me, for this will bring you gradually to the platform of true perfection. If, however, you cannot come to the point of taking shelter of my divine service, then you should seek self-contentment by offering all of the fruits of your labors in the service of others. Those who understand the truth are superior to those who simply practice to understand it, and those who absorb themselves deeply in contemplative trance, directly perceiving the truth, are better still. Best of all, however, are those who remain ever fixed in the ecstatic bliss of rendering active and loving service to me. How dear to me are my devotees! They never cherish malice towards anyone. In fact, they feel everyone to be a friend, are compassionate and kind towards all, have no tendency to exploit the environment, and never consider themselves to be the ultimate enjoyer or controller. They are equipoised in the face of both distressful and pleasant situations, forgiving of the trespasses of others, and eternally satisfied, by dint of engaging body, mind, and soul with firm determination in my transcendental loving service. My dear devotees are careful not to cause annoyance to others, and are never deluded by anger, frustration, and fear. Free from craving, pure at heart, ingenious and carefree, those devoted souls remain detached in the midst of all their undertakings. Filled with love for me, they never hanker after mundane pleasure, lament or feel self-pity, and they take no thought of auspicious or inauspicious omens. My pure devotees love their enemies as much as their friends, offer all respects to others, while never requiring any for themselves, and take no great thought of change of climate or of upturns and downturns of fate. They free themselves from all impure habits, are content with whatever comes to them unsought, possess a holy peace, and are self-satisfied. With hearts filled with devotion and minds fixed with determination, they wander as pilgrims in the world. I cannot express how dear to me are my devotees, taking love for me to be their all and all, illuminated by faith, they come to drink the nectar of understanding that the supreme law of life is pure love. So, just by reading this wonderful book Bhagavad-gita regularly, we are able to keep things in perspective. That means that our present situation in the material world is not our eternal situation. The life of the soul, that is our eternal situation. So to remain on the spiritual platform rather than the mental platform, this is required. As my Guruji once said to me, get off the mental platform and absorb yourself in the reality of Radha and Krishna. The reality of Radha and Krishna. So this material world is the Lord's illusory energy. It is not false, but it is temporary. So we find ourselves in this situation where we are confronted with all kinds of ups and downs, comings and goings in this material world. But our real nature is that of eternal peace, eternal bliss. That is the nature of the soul, Satchidananda Vigraha. Just this is a nice definition exactly of who we are. We are eternal, the soul is eternal. Chit, we are by nature full of knowledge. Ananda, we have by nature a blissful consciousness. And Vigraha, we have a spiritual form. So this Ananda is the real nature of the soul, this blissful, happy condition. But as long as we are under the influence, under the subjected to the laws of material nature, in this temporary material world, we are our real consciousness is not manifest. Just like water, it can be pure or polluted. So as long as our consciousness is not pure, if it's polluted by various misconceptions, then we do not experience our real happy nature. The gross misconception is that I'm this body. But no, I'm not this temporary, material, mechanical body. I'm the eternal spirit soul. And my real identity and nature is that of loving service to the Supreme Soul, Sri Krishna. This is the reality, as opposed to the illusion. So to move from the illusion to the reality is the perfect solution for all our problems. And that will awaken our blissful Ananda, our blissful nature. It is already there, it simply has to be awoken. And the process of how to do that is given by our gurus, our spiritual masters. The guru, the word guru means to take one from darkness to light, enlightenment. And how is that possible? Just like the 18th chapter of Bhagavad-gita is called enlightenment through self-surrender. So that process of enlightenment, coming to be freed of the binding forces of material nature, to experience our blissful spiritual nature, is only possible by self-surrender to the Lord's devotees, pure devotees, the Guru, the spiritual master. They are bona fide representatives of the Lord, and they're very kind, and they've kindly come to this dark material universe to take us home, to relieve us of all our difficulties. But we have to approach them in the right mood, which is that I am low, I am undone, I am helpless, as Sridhar Maharaj says. So, as he also says, ignorance is no accident. Whatever difficulties I'm experiencing here are as a result of my own previous activities. This is my karma. But at the same time, the Lord is merciful, and by self-surrender, by offering ourselves to his representative in a service mood, we can be relieved of our difficulties eternally. So to have faith in that is required. To have faith in the words of Krishna and his pure devotees, that is required in order to commit to them. And how do we have faith? How do we increase our faith? That is our business. And they give that process as well by regularly hearing from these great souls, from their books, their recordings of their talks, their singing, and of course directly from Krishna himself through his spoken word in Bhagavad-gita and descriptions of his pastimes in Srimad Bhagavatam and that of his associates, and so many other devotional books by the great acharyas. This is the process for staying on the path of devotion and increasing our faith that it's true, that this is actually the path of perfection, how to put an end to our difficulties once and for all, and to experience our blissful nature, ananda. So, reading Bhagavad-gita every day is a nice practice, chanting, of course, the Mahamantra, also the Guranga mantra, offering our food to Krishna. Very simple things which can be done even under lockdown. Just to maintain this humble attitude. And also Krishna talks very much about qualities that we should manifest. Forgiveness, be careful not to irritate others, respect. These are all necessary qualities to interact nicely in this world. As we know, this is the world of coral, so to maintain peaceful, loving relationships in itself is already a wonderful thing if we can manifest that. And we can do so through prayer and by self-examination, also by accepting that but also being compassionate to one's own self. We need to recognize that we are honorable souls ourselves. We need to be compassionate with ourselves. Humility doesn't mean that I trash myself. No. We should understand that we are very dear to the Lord, and in whatever condition we are, and therefore we should be compassionate to ourselves and honor ourselves. At the same time, maintain a humble attitude. We are students, we are always servants, but at the same time, if we practice and cultivate these spiritual practices, especially with humility, we can feel encouraged even in the most dark times. Of course, dark times only relate to this material world, which, after all, Krishna himself says is dukkhalayam shashvatam. It is a temporary place full of miseries. That is the nature of this place. That is certified by the Creator himself. So that we cannot change, but we can transcend the difficulties. We can access that region, that we can remain on the spiritual platform through the practice of this bhakti yoga. And in this way we can remain positive and confident and faithful that Krishna is our friend, the Supreme Controller, and he is looking after us. As we surrender to him, he rewards us accordingly. And that is all we need, to have that sense of him, feeling ourselves fully sheltered by his mercy. This we need to cultivate, that kind of sense of communion with him by bhakti yoga, shravanam, kirtanam, hearing and chanting. And in this way make progress. We simply want to make progress. So hopefully you can read Bhagavad-gita every day if you have a copy, and if not, get a copy, bona fide copy, and chant the holy names, vegetarian diet, offering our food to Krishna. These are all very powerful things which can help us stay on the path and make progress. Jai Jai Radhe. God bless. Hare Krishna.